How's everybody doing today? Forgive me if I stutter. I'm really nervous. First time I speak in front of a lot of people. We'll see how this goes. My name is Jesse, and this is my story. I grew up in a Christian home, strong faith. My parents were preachers. I was a decent kid in elementary. 6th grade, my parents started having a hard time in their marriage. 7th grade, my parents split, and I wasn't too sure how to feel. I was lost, not so much angry, just lost. As when my life started going downhill, I would soon find out that my choices would not only affect me, but the people around me as well. I started acting out and getting in trouble throughout the year. I would then be introduced to weed by a family member. 8th grade, I was doing okay. I was still passing classes. 9th grade, I was getting into more trouble due to the people and environment. I started selling drugs, using drugs, and drinking. In my 3rd period, freshman year, I got caught with pills. I got sent to AEP for 180 days. That's the first time I got in trouble. I finished my year in AEP. I had to do summer school, but I didn't have the money for it. So Miss Petty paid for it, and I didn't know who she was. After finishing summer school, I dropped out because I was going to be a freshman again. So instead of going to my 10th grade year, I started working. That sucked, so I came back halfway, 10th grade, and was introduced to Miss Petty for the first time. She assigned me a mentor that year. At that time, I was still selling and using drugs, and of course, I would always be high when I would meet with my mentor in the morning. My mentor was cool, but I also liked it because I was skipping class. I barely passed my classes, but I finished 10th grade. I was working during the summer, so I decided it would be better to go live with my dad because my mom was always getting on to me, and I just hated hearing it from her. I didn't come back from my 11th grade until spring. I still drank and used drugs. I smoked K2 for a while because it never showed in a drug test. I wasn't selling anymore, just using a lot. I moved back in with my mom, and I was in and out of AEP that year. Living with my dad was fine. I just hated driving far to school, so I decided to move back. I was partying a lot. I was never home. I never got along with my mom. She would kick me out. She called me a failure and a couple other things. That's where my mind was at. And at this particular party I was at, I met these guys that were in the cartel. I was offered a job for $15,000 to do a simple job. They were talking about terrible crimes they committed, and because of drugs that I've been using, I wasn't in my right mind. Their terrible crimes didn't stop me. It was the thought of spending my life in prison, so I declined the offer. Even after this happened, I was still using and partying. I was still in school, barely passing, and spent more time in AEP. I started up my senior year at the age of 19, going on 20. I cut back on the drugs and started drinking more. Classes were all right. I started missing classes because I was using K2 a lot. At this party I was at, I was smoking it, and I almost died, but it didn't stop me. I kept smoking it anyways. Miss Petty and Miss Martin tried to get me into rehab, but I was too stubborn. Around Christmas, my senior year, the school told me I was gonna age out before I would graduate. I had been in high school for 4 years. I had the credits of a 10th grader, so they offered me a new program they wanted to try, where I would go at my own pace on a computer. I agreed, and I got 2 years of school finished in 1 semester. I graduated June 6, 2014. I was still using drugs. I met with my mentors consistently through high school. I was able to talk to my mentor about my future and the things I wanted to do. I really knew I wanted to be a technician, so 10 days after my graduation, I enrolled into Universal Technical Institute here in Dallas. While I was there, I was getting straight A's. I had a 4.0 GPA with perfect attendance, something I never had throughout high school. I would still get high, but I wouldn't drink as much. Towards the end of the year, I was offered another job from the cartel. This time it was $50,000 to drop a package off in El Paso. They sought me out because I blended in with others. I declined the offer again. I was in UTI. I was still unsure of where I wanted to work, and I graduated in December 2015. I was given the opportunity to further my education in Arizona, and I worked at an independent shop up to August. The BMW STEP program in Arizona was already paid for by the manufacturer. August 2016, I started the program. I was out there a couple months, but due to family issues, I came back home. I worked for a couple weeks, and I already had a spot available for me in November to restart the program. A month before I graduated, I started working at BMW of Dallas part-time. I graduated March 17, 2017. I started working at BMW full-time. I've been clean for 2 years, been in church for 2 years, and I've been there since then, and all of my hard work is paying off.